today. Welcome to The Road Traveled, a travel podcast by Melissa Barcalau from abetterviewtravel and myself, Judy Adams from World Travel Service. We are happy to have you with us today to listen to a fantastic presentation about a destination that I can't wait to get to. It's called the Primland Resort in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And if that picture on the screen doesn't give you some level of excitement, I'm not sure what will. Today with us, we are joined by Julie Midden. She is a Director of Sales and Marketing at Primland, and of course, myself and Melissa. So with those introductions, I will now turn it over to Melissa. Melissa, take it away.
Great. Thank you, Julie, for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit about where Primland is located? Because I'm guessing most people don't know.
Yeah, that's very true. No one wakes up and says, I think I'll go to Meadows of Dan, Virginia today. We're located in a small community in the Blue Ridge Mountains in southwestern Virginia. We're right across the North Carolina border. So we're about an hour north of Winston-Salem and an hour south of Roanoke, Virginia, right on 12,000 acres, right in the middle of the Blue Ridge, off the Blue Ridge Parkway.
Great. And being a mountain resort, what are you doing or how are you dealing with COVID presently?
Actually, we opened up the Thursday before Memorial Day, and we opened it up with, apprehension, not quite knowing what it was going to look like or what we were going to encounter. And what we found was a great surprise. We have been consistently busy. We're getting a lot of people who don't want to fly, who just want to get out of the city and drive. So we've been with a lot of new clients, a lot of old clients, and the extended stays are happening. With 12,000 acres, it's easy to self-distance. So even though the hotel is full, we're still not seeing a lot of people around because everybody's kind of keeping to themselves. What we've done is, right now we're in phase 2 in Virginia. So we were able to open the restaurants, but only at 50% capacity. So there's seating for 50%, but we're also still doing our takeaway menu, which means people can order it, they can pick it up, or we can deliver it to their room. We also purchased a large, gorgeous smoker. So every day we've been cooking some great barbecue. And of course, the golfers smell it starting at 7 a.m. So it's been a popular. We do the sanitizing program. Obviously, we've increased that. In between each room, we sanitize. There's usually a 24-hour wait before the next guest can come into the room. All of our staff are wearing masks and gloves and sanitizing and changing anytime they have to. When a guest checks in, we do hand them a packet that has masks, gloves, and sanitizer in it for each of their members of their party. We check temperatures at the gate. We do have security gates, so before anybody comes in, they do have their temperature taken, and we also are asking a questionnaire. If anybody has more than 100 degrees, then we don't allow them on property. Activity-wise, we're pretty much doing everything. We did only a few things we've had to stop, and that's tree climbing because of the close proximity, as well as instructional clay shooting. Right now, we just do clay shooting for people who want to do it, but without the instruction, just because of the self-distancing. Trying to think, as far as any other kind of type of protocols, we're just following the guidelines that's set to us by Governor Northam. We're hoping to get to phase 3 this coming weekend. And the spa, we're doing limited services. With phase 2, we were allowed to do massages for up to 60 minutes, but everybody still had to wear a mask. So that's kind of what it looks like now. When you come into a hotel, you don't know what anybody looks like. You have to talk with your eyes. I think it's going to be the new norm.
I think it's fantastic.
So.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like you're doing a lot of wonderful measures there in place. Can you, I've never been to Primland. And looking at the website, it looks amazing. Can you tell us some of the highlights of the property?
Probably the most popular is the 12,000 acres. The fact that trying to use every corner we can. So there's stuff to do all around the property, whether you're an outdoors enthusiast or not. If you want to just sit in a corner and read a book next to the fireplace, we also are perfect for that as well. The other thing that I think sets us apart from other resorts, because there's many beautiful resorts in the mountains, but I think what sets us aside is our staff. We have staff that 80% of them are from the area. They are genuine Southern hospitality. They would treat you the same if you went into their home. I mean, it's genuine, it's real. And I think that's probably what the guests comment on the most, is the fact that the employees are so excited to have them there, remember them, and take care of them. So along with the activities, it's the views. I mean, we're on top of a mountain, 3,000 feet up. So everywhere you turn, you have an amazing view, north, south, east, or west.
What would you say are some of the guests who are coming? Are there families, multi-gen, honeymooners?
Probably, I started there about 5 years ago, and I would say it was more of couples coming in. In the last 3 years, we've been seeing a big influx of families. So we've been accommodating this by taking all of our activities and adapting them so children can do it. And we promote families playing together. So anything that an adult can do, a family can do. Now with the COVID, we're noticing a mix of everybody. And we're also noticing people are coming now for 5 to 7 to 9 days, one person a month, considered when we normally would just do, average 2, maybe 3 nights there. But what we're finding is we have the mountain homes. We have a few units with full kitchens, so that if they figure they need to stay home and work, and they can do Zoom from Primland. So people are kind of coming here, and we're seeing all walks of life, to be honest with you. We're seeing a lot of new guests that we probably never would have seen before this, that are kind of discovering us via blogs, and travel agencies have been really great for us. So our 6-hour drive market keeps expanding a little bit more. So right now it's a little bit of a mix. We also do corporate business, and we do have some small meetings that are happening again because they have to, follow the guidelines. So it's a little mix of everything there right now.
That's great. Can you talk about the accommodations? You have a variety. The cottages, the treehouse looked amazing, as well as rooms in the lodge.
Sure. The tree houses, we have 3 tree houses, and I can tell you right now they are booked solid up to October. People
Wow.
are used to tree house because you do feel like you're 3,000 feet up on the side of the mountain. So your view is astonishing. It's a studio type unit with it's a bedroom, a sitting area, and then a bathroom, but your deck is really where your living space is. You sit out on this stunning deck overlooking the Blue Ridge Mountains. So that tends to be, the most popular accommodation, and fills up quite quickly. Someday I think someone's going to come there and write the great American novel, because it's the perfect spot. In the lodge, we have 26 accommodations. The lodge is more of a, it kind of has a luxury with a little bit of, I'm trying to think how I think of it, a streamlined design. And I think that comes from the fact that our family that owns us are French and also live in Sweden. So it has a little bit of that look. All the wood in there is a little bit darker, but all the wood is from the property, from the area where the property is. We are LEED certified. So the 26 guest rooms are consistent of suites and regular guest rooms. And with more suites, we're pretty heavy on suites at the property. At the Fairway Cottages, there are 3 units that are overlooking the golf course. Each one of those have 2 units in each. And so there's 6 there. Beautiful views of the golf course with a full kitchen. So that's become a popular location. And the Pinnacle Cottages were built in 2015. Those are 16 units. One side being a large suite with another beautiful balcony that's built about 2,800 feet up on the side of the mountain overlooking the pinnacles of Dan. And it has a second room to it that can be sold as a single unit, or it can be combined to a 2-bedroom connecting room. And then we have 10 mountain homes that range anywhere from 1 bedroom up to 7 bedrooms. So they could sleep up to 20, 22 people.
Wow. Sounds like fabulous options.
Yes.
And dining, you have on-site some dining options.
We do. We have Elements, which is our fine dining, which is more farm to table food menu. We do source a lot of our food from the local farms and also in our gardens. So that's more of our fine dining. We also have breakfast in there every morning. The 19th Pub is our casual American fare. We do, the typical burgers, casual food, and probably the most popular item in there is our pig candy. Pig candy has become very famous. It's candied bacon, and people will come and get that and usually take an order or 2 home with them when they leave. The other thing we've been doing quite a bit in there, which is from the region is we do moonshine tastings. So this is an area where moonshine was generated. So we embrace our heritage and we do specialty moonshine cocktails, moonshine tastings, and guests have a lot of fun with it because many of them have never had moonshine before. We also have 5 stills on property that we found and restored one of them, and in the summer we do the tastings there. We also have Stable Saloon. It's our more casual dining area. It's seasonal, so it's open mainly in the summer and on holidays, Thursday through Sunday through the summer. We have kind of a country buffet type thing where it's the ribs, the fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, okra. And along with that, we do bluegrass music. We're part of the Crooked Road Music Heritage Trail. So we do live bluegrass music there during the openings of those. So it's become popular. However, since now with the guidelines, we don't do a buffet any longer. So what we're doing is family style there.
Great. And then I think you mentioned you have a smoker, so you think that's going to stay for the foreseeable future?
I think it is. This is quite the machine. We purchased a smoker and we have a building called the Tobacco Barn. It's a small building that's behind the lodge, but it has a patio, and we do outdoor dining there at times with a cookout. However, now that we've bought the smoker, the chefs start cooking about 6 or 7 a.m. in the morning, and by the time the golfers get in from their first round, they're starving. So the cookers become a very popular dining option. It's weather permitting because it is outdoors. So when it's a beautiful day, the cooker's going right now for lunch. We're actually going to start increasing to do that for dinners on the weekends and based on our house count.
Great. Any favorite meals or recommendations for a table that might have a stunning view?
In Elements, you want to sit by the windows because we have beautiful sunsets. And while you're dining, it's gorgeous to look over the golf course and the mountains and watch the sunset. In the pub, I prefer sitting outside on the north terrace. Again, beautiful views of the golf course. You just have that fresh air because here in Virginia, it starts to get cooler in the evenings, and it's always 10 degrees cooler up here at Primland than it is down below. Stable Saloons, really any seat there is good, but I'd say probably our favorite is the pig candy. The pimento cheese puffs are the 2 popular ones. For dessert, they do a peanut butter pie that is like eating a huge Reese's peanut butter cup. My favorite meal, I'd have to say, is Chef Chad's fried chicken. I've never tasted anything like it, but it's comfort food and it's extremely good. And of course, the barbecue from the smoker.
Oh, you're killing me with all this food, Julie. I mean, amazing.
Sounds amazing.
And all I'm having for breakfast is yogurt, so you're killing me.
We have that too.
And then if you could just touch on some of the activities, looked like there's so many options for guests who are visiting.
There are, and like I said, we've been very fortunate that we haven't had to really limit many of them during this closure. But we start off with our golf. We have the Highland Golf Course. It's ranked number 31 in the country by Golf Digest. Designed by Donald Steele. It's absolutely stunning. It's completely on top of the mountain, so every hole has a view. So we've actually moved our tee times to 15 minutes apart because everybody stops to take a photograph. It's a very difficult course, so people play it more than once just to try and conquer it. We have the spa at the lodge. It's a full service spa. It has 8 treatment rooms. We do a lot of yoga programs. We do a lot of yoga programs outside. We have yoga decks set up through the trails on the property. So it's kind of a nice way to kind of get in touch with nature. Down at the Outdoor Activity Center, we have quite a bit. We have clay shooting. We have 23 stands nestled throughout the woods, and we have the different clay shooting stands. We have a 5 stand as well and a parkour course. We also do archery and tomahawk tossing as well as spear tossing. There is fly fishing, and we do pond fishing as well as river fishing, and we have Orvis and Doris fly fishing guides. We do biking and hiking. We'll do mountain biking, or you can do road biking. We have miles and miles and miles of old logging trails that we've turned into the trails for hiking or biking. So that's been a popular one. Normally we do tree climbing, but right now that's been put on hold because it's hard to self-distance and when you're 120 feet up on a tree. Then we also do disc golf. We have a course that's kind of built into a trail of disc course. We're getting ready to open up our new fitness trail, which is absolutely amazing because everything in there is natural. It's no machines or anything. Everything's done from our own woods and the trees that we cut down for it. Observatory, the silo part of the building that you see at the very top is an observatory, and it's a planetarium calibered telescope. So we do actually deep space stargazing. So you're looking at the planets. You can see the rings of Saturn, the moons of Saturn. You can see the galaxies, the meteor showers, and we do 3 shows of that a night up there, as long as the weather permits us to open the dome and get up there. Kayaking and paddleboarding. We have a reservoir on property, so we do the stand-up paddleboard and the kayaking on property. There's also tennis. And then in the fall, we're really well known for our wing shooting program. We are an Orvis endorsed lodge for wing shooting. We do the European driven hunts and upland hunts. The people are there in their tweeds. It looks like a scene out of Downton Abbey. It's absolutely amazing, but that goes from September through March. And I think I covered all of them.
That is amazing.
Are a lot of these guided, self-guided?
A little bit of both. You can do the hike guided or or on your own, either one of that. Same with the mountain biking. The kayaking and paddleboarding is guided. We do instructional with the clay shooting and fly fishing and archery. But a lot of this you can kind of just do on your own. And as I mentioned to your colleague earlier, we've done a lot of our activities. We're starting to notice more and more families are coming. We don't have enough kids to really do a camp, nor do I think we'll ever do that. So what we've done is we've adapted every activity we have for children to do. So we have mini golf clubs if they want to golf. They can do archery with their parents. You know, they can do the RTV tours with their parents. So we really promote family playing together.
Great. And then does one need to make a reservation before one arrives at the resort, or can somebody say, oh my God, this golf course looks absolutely even more amazing in person. Can I sign up for a round of golf?
Yes, we do allow the public in for any of the dining or activities as well, you know, along with golf and spa.
And then I believe I saw on your website, you guys have some events, some monthly events.
Yeah, some of them, unfortunately, we've had to cancel, but we do a concert series with bluegrass music. We're near Galax, which is the fiddling capital of the world. So we do a lot with the musicians there. We actually do cooking classes and specialty dinners. We have some great wineries in our area. So we'll partner with them and do a wine dinner. Again, with the concerts, we started to do movies on the lawn. We do it on the driving range at night. So our theater, we have a theater in the property that seats 18, but we had to close it because of the guidelines. So we just moved the movies outside. So we do that. And we're starting a new program on Tuesday nights for families that it's called Barbecue and Bingo. So we're doing bingo games, and we also do pub trivia. So there's just little things that we're doing to try and keep people entertained.
They all sound wonderful to me.
Absolutely. So, Julie, you've given us tons and tons of great information, and I'm still back at peanut butter pie and pig candy, which after that, my urge would be to climb a tree and hide, but I'd probably try to do some yoga. So I would like to say thank you, first of all, for joining us. And I want to tell our listeners, if you're interested in visiting Primland, Melissa and I would be more than happy to help you plan a fantastic trip. From start to finish, there are just tons of things to do, a variety of lodging for you and your family. So that we really hope you reach out to us. We'd also like to thank, obviously, Julie. Julie, you're a wealth of information. And just looking at Primland, I know that you know the property inside and out based on all of your recommendations. And of course, a great thanks to our listeners for tuning in to another great property on A Road Traveled. I think that we are done. Melissa, I think we can close out, and everyone have a fantastic day.
Thank you very much, Julie.
Thank you, Julie.
Thank you. I'll send you all some pig candy.
Thank you.